Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sports Shorts presented by LeBear's Casino. Ronnie Rance alongside Tommy Chrysan. TK joining us over at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood in Baton Rouge. I'm at an undisclosed location presented by the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. We are less than, I think we're 2 weeks from Sunday. We'll be selecting the Hall of Fame class. We'll be announcing it sometime mid September. So excited about finding out who's going to be in the 2026 Hall of Fame class. And of course, we're presented by LeBear's Casino. I am joining you today just for a little brief moment. Went ahead and headed to the Gulf over here at Perdido Key. Went to visit the fam for a minute. Um, Weather's a little overcast, a little cloudy, but nothing crazy. Um, Tommy, what we got today on Sports Shorts?
Well, LSU, of course, since we did Sports Shorts Wednesday, Gary Nussmeier bumped knees with a defensive end, and social media went nuts. Everything from a torn ACL to they amputated his leg to he's going to be fine. LSU says nothing serious. He bumped knees with a guy. They don't wear knee pads anymore. And, bone on bone, you bump somebody when you're both moving, it's going to hurt. He's probably got a bruise. LSU had what they called recovery day yesterday. No practice. I'm sure people did stuff, but there was no official practice. And he'll be back. We'll see if he's back out there today. We'll get all the reports from the people covering everything as that'll happen today. But that set it up. And of course, we get closer and closer to August 30th. Clemson now a 4.5-point favorite, over and under 57.5. I don't know if it's because Nussmeier bumped his knee that it moved by a
It
point,
is.
or maybe a bunch. I don't think a bunch of money's coming in yet. There'll be a surge the week of the game, and certainly the day before and the day of. But that's clearly what probably bumped it.
Yeah, I mean, the wild speculation, of course. Uh, uh, the wild speculation that the injury could be, and it is worse than what LSU is potentially reporting, is obviously going to drive the money or the people to take Clemson. And now, if you believe that the report is inaccurate, or if you watched the Netflix documentary on LSU and you saw some behind the scenes of last year, and you're excited and you're drinking the punch even more, and you want LSU, then get the 4.5, get you some value. But be interesting to see. There'll be a lot of people interested in the next practice. Where's he at? When's he get out there? How does he move? Because look, nowadays you can't trust any team to tell you what's going on with a player. Everybody from the NFL to the college is going to lie to the as much as they can within the letter of the law. No one's going to be honest about injuries. Heck, I mean, Jay Johnson is the worst of them when it comes to injuries. Like, he doesn't even talk about it until the guy's in the dugout in a sling, and then he'll go, "Oh yeah, that guy's got a hurt arm." I mean, like, So I mean, the bottom line is that there's lots of speculation. Those in the know that were there say, no, it's not as severe as being reported. But until we see him moving around and all that, it's kind of like you got to see it with your own eyes to believe it, Tommy. But it is puts a little extra juice in this first game, puts a little anxiety if you're an LSU fan into this first game. And I urge you, Tommy, I know you're a busy man, you just don't have time in your life for Netflix, but please go online and watch the behind the scenes SEC documentary for SEC football from last year. So good. It's the NASCAR formula, the golf formula, full swing, where they dumb it down and don't assume anybody knows anything, and it's just really good and entertaining to watch.
All right, I'm gonna have to check that out. But you're right. If anything's with Nussmeier, that'll make that. If it tore his ACL and he was out, it would have jumped more than a point. Okay, but LSU fans are excited everywhere I go. I spoke to the men's club at Most Blessed Sacrament last night. They're all fired up about LSU. Everywhere you go, people are fired up and excited, and it's getting closer.
A lot of Rougarou talk last night at that MBS men's club.
There was. I had some people said, "How about the Rougarou?" They were fired up about it, and congratulations. And a lot of sports fans in the room. So yeah, they were fired up about the Rougarou. I said, "Well, next year you got to get to some games."
Speaking of the Rougarou, you know how, like, Raising Cane's will do that sort of takeover, where champions will work the drive-through or they'll work the counter or whatever. St. Louis Blues win. Two or three of their better players will go to a location in St. Louis and throw on the Cane's shirt and hand out food for an hour, that kind of thing. Well, we're going to do that with the Rougarou next Wednesday from 10 to 11 a.m. Over at the original location, actually 10, 11:30, over at the Chimes 1 location, the original location next to LSU's campus. We're going to have the mascot. We're going to have 4 or 5 players. We're going to have a number of influencers, social media content creators that we've had at our ballpark throughout the summer. Many of those are going to be joining us there. And we're going to do a champions serving champions series where, oh, look who it is. It's World Series champion so-and-so. And, and it's going to be different people coming through the drive-through that have all won a championship. So looking forward to that. Going to be really cool. That's next Wednesday from 10 to 11:30, open to the public. We urge all Rougarou fans to come by, let your kids take your kids out of school for an hour and let them go take them to lunch, and then put them back in, whatever. Let them come out there. But everybody is welcome. That's going to be next Wednesday. We'll tell you about it next week. 10 to 11:30 at the original Chimes by LSU's campus. We're going to get some great publicity and social media out of it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that sounds great. Hope everybody will have some fun with that. But connect with the Rougarou on social media. You'll get all the info and the details. And if you need to stop by, if you can't, you'll be able to see all the activity.
TK, you need to come. We need to get you. You're going to be doing the show that Wednesday morning. Maybe you could swap Mondays and Wednesdays. Do it at Court Street Cafe on Wednesday, and then just pop by after. Something like that. But
All right, well, I'll put that on my schedule.
yeah. But anyway, that's what's going on in Rougarou land. And don't forget also, we got championship T-shirts still available. Go to brrougarou.com. Get your championship T-shirt today. Youth sizes, large sizes. They make a great gift for the Rougarou fans, or just if they're a cool T-shirt. You haven't been to a game yet. You've been hearing about us yap about it. Go to brrougarou.com. Jameis Winston is a Rougarou fan. He did a video for us in the spring when I went fishing with him one day and did a video talking about the Rougarou and all that. Did you see on social media the video about Jameis Winston, Tommy, where at practice the other day, they got 4 quarterbacks to the New York Giants. They had a competition where, you throw the football from 30 yards out or whatever to try to hit the crossbar. And he nailed it, and the team went wild, and, typical Jameis Winston type stuff.
Well, he'd been known to rise to the occasion. Okay, and he had that great year with the Tampa Bay Bucks, and there's a lot of upside, a lot of talent, a lot of skill. You hung out with him; he's a fun guy, from everything I can tell, and it doesn't surprise me that he sees that moment. That's what Jameis Winston does.
No, it was a national champion as well, and
Played a little
in
college
college,
baseball. He can't be all
yeah,
bad. He played college baseball.
had played on one of the more dominant college football programs of seasons of all time. Matter of fact, the season that he played at Florida State, their team, with Jimbo Fisher as head coach, they dominated their opponents. They had the largest margin of victory. Differential victory, score differential amongst their opponents of anybody in all time in the history of college football, and at that time had the most points scored in a single season. Now LSU broke that record by I think a point or two, but they also played one more game than Florida State did. So kind of we sleep on that Jameis Winston led Florida State team, but they were pretty darn good. A lot of those guys, many of them, played in the NFL. The Saints could use a Jameis Winston on their staff, like in the sense that he really, and I'm not joking when I say this because we like him so much, but Jameis Winston would be super valuable for this team because you've got these young quarterbacks that need training, they need leadership, they need to know how to be a pro, how to play in the NFL, all that kind of stuff. And then, oh, by the way, he's a safety net in case they get hurt or something like that. I'll be curious to see if the Saints maybe go in some sort of direction like that after training camp, maybe bring in a veteran presence in that locker room. I'm not sure because right now you got Three newbies running around.
Yeah, you really do. And I think if the Saints acquired Jameis Winston this afternoon, that'd make them a better football team. No question about that for the reasons you just mentioned. Now, if he's one of four quarterbacks for the Giants, you never know. I didn't think about it till you just said it, but I'm kind of liking the thought of do the Saints make a move after the exhibition games to bring a guy in, maybe not to be the starter, but to, help in that quarterback room and help on the sidelines, help at the halftime adjustments. Be curious to see if that happens.
Yeah, mainly Tommy. Like, let's say you're the Giants, for example, and you're not going to keep one of your veteran quarterbacks, um, and you let him go, or the Browns, or if Flacco's available, if Winston's available, somebody like that would go a long way for the Saints. But that said, we still don't know. Saints for the next 9, 10 days are going to be practicing out in California. I'm sure the players love that. The weather's going to be much more moderate out there. They're going to be at UC Irvine, the home of the Anteaters, one of my favorite mascots in all of sports. But um, 9, 10 days of practicing. They'll play out in San Diego as well. We still don't know who's going to be the starting quarterback on Sunday. Most prognosticators think Spencer Rattler will take the ball first just because he's a veteran and all that. They're all going to play a good bit. I would imagine you're going to say, the top three quarterbacks play a pretty somewhat even amount. Um, but obviously, who takes the snap, a lot's going to be read into that, whoever goes first.
Yeah, I agree completely. And they'll play 3 o'clock Louisiana time on Sunday. If you want to check it out, get you a little black and gold fix. And they'll be doing that against the Chargers. And, they had a couple preseason games last night. There's a couple tonight. Shador Sanders supposed to be on the field tonight. As all the teams are doing the same thing, trying to figure out that 53-man roster.
Do we know if Shador is going to start?
Some reports say yes, some reports say no. They're being very sneaky
Boy,
about it, but they are going to play tonight, so we'll see. And of course, it'll be blown up everywhere, whether he does good, bad, poor, great, whatever. It's going to be a focus, later tonight and tomorrow, and we'll talk about it tomorrow morning on Sports Shorts Radio.
well, Shador, yeah, they're playing on the road, are the Browns. I would imagine when they return home, if there's any chance to get Shador a start and to let it be known well in advance, that would be a big thing for attendance, because everybody's going to want to see that, especially Browns fans in person. There's still a giant segment of the population that thinks that he should have been a first round pick, and the fact that he wasn't, you got a lot of people in each camp. So a lot of eyeballs on Shador tonight when he gets in the ball game, and then of course for Saints fans, not as many national eyeballs, but just as much interest on Sunday at 3 o'clock. I'll be on the golf course in Wisconsin Sunday at 3 o'clock. Tommy, just hope first of 5 rounds of golf for me next week. 2 of them are walking. One at Erin Hills, the home of the U.S. Open for the ladies this year, and Whistling Straits, the home of the Ryder Cup 2 years ago. That's where we'll be, or 4 years ago, I guess. That's where we'll be playing this week. Looking forward to it. Not looking forward to the walking.
Well, but I need the results from you and Louie's matches.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I must get a text from either you or Louie. Or it could be the next day. I need to know the results because I'm gonna have to talk about it Monday on Sports Shorts Daily, and so we'll need some updates. And I have both of you guys' number. I'll text you or Louie, and I'll be able to tell who won by how fast I get the text back and who it's from.
Well, just log into the GHIN app, and then you can see all the scores that me, Buzzy Heidel, my brother Gus, we're all going to be putting in our scores on that app after each round. But anyway, looking forward to it. Hey, I saw you popped up on the screen as a meat sale at Tremonti's on the 29th of August. What are we talking about there?
Yeah, that's a huge meat sale. They do it annually. They have prices
At the
on
18
brisket
wheeler thing?
and bacon and everything else you can imagine. Load up for the Labor Day weekend, load up for the football season. A huge meat sale. It's something that they do a couple of times a year here at Tremonti's. Prices like you've never seen. And I'll have a flyer. They'll put out a flyer the week before where you can see exactly what the deals will be on brisket. ribeye, filet, bacon. One of your favorite things to get is bacon. And of course, they'll have other specials in the store. But that'll be a huge day, Friday, August 29th, here at Tremonti's.
All right, TK, tell us about. We talked about Tremonti's. Anything else going on in the
Radio.
world of sports you want to hit
Well,
on before we get out of here?
we got Sports Choice Radio tomorrow morning, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles through to ESPN Radio. We'll be at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at LeBears. We'll talk about Shador Sanders. We'll talk about Garrett Nussmeyer. We'll talk all the sports that we can talk tomorrow morning. Come out there and join us. You're welcome to come. Some people sit there and listen. They pipe the show through the speakers in the sportsbook. So come on out there and join us, or certainly tune in on the app or tune in on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge or ESPN Southwest Louisiana. And don't forget, Saturday night is steak night at Court Street Cafe in Port Allen. Great deal on steaks on Saturday nights. Get out there and get that done in Port Allen. Hey, as we always say, don't forget to like and share this show, whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or X. Like and share this show. That helps everybody involved. Sports Shorts Radio tomorrow morning. Sports Shorts Daily will be back Monday morning. Hope you have a wonderful weekend, everyone.